Hey guys, today we're going to talk about external angles. Now, before we start, I have to be precise about what I mean when I say external angles. When we're talking about external angles, ultimately we're going to be looking at how to work them out. You kind of know already, but we're going to be talking about the sum of external angles in this video as well. When I'm talking about external angles, I'm talking about angles that are all facing in the same direction. So the angles would either be facing a clockwise direction, that's all of the angles, or all of the angles will be facing an anti-clockwise direction. And we're going to talk about what this means, how this looks, and how you can use it to work out the sum of all external angles of absolutely any polygon. So let's get into it. Okay, here we go, guys. Now we're going to work out all of these external angles. We've got 5 of them. We have an irregular pentagon, and we've got the internal angles, and we're asked to work out A, B, C, D and E. So let me just get my calculator. It's not a real calculator, but it's the mobile phone. I don't even think they're called mobile phones anymore. Anyway, so as you know, when we're trying to work out external angles, we can use the fact that the angle on a straight line, for example here, the angle on a straight line is 180 degrees. So the angle on all these straight lines, this one, that one, that one, and that one, are 180 degrees. And this is going to help us to work out the external angle. So let's go through all of them. Let's start with A. So the internal angle that's adjacent to it is 95 degrees. So 180 minus 95 is going to give us the angle A. So 180 minus 95 equals 85. So A equals 85 degrees. B, the internal angle adjacent to it is 92. So what we would do, seeing that these two angles are on a straight line, their sum must be 180. If we take 92 away from 180, we will get the angle B, which is 88 degrees. Then we go to C. We're using the same type of reasoning. All we need to do is subtract the internal angle, which is 139, from 180 degrees, and that will give us 41 degrees. So C equals 41 degrees. Do the same with D. 180 minus 102, that gives us D equals 78 degrees. And finally, we want the angle of E. 112 degrees plus E equals 180, because they're on a straight line. So if we subtract 112 from 180, that's going to give us the angle E, which is 68 degrees. So let's write our angles in. We can now remove those. Actually, you know, we don't need to write the angles. We've got them written down here. Then what am I going to do next? Well, I want you, so we've now got all of the external angles. You see how easy it is to work out the external angles on a pentagon, and then regular pentagon. Doesn't matter if it's regular or irregular, or any type of polygon, as long as all these angles are facing the right directions. You see what I mean? They're all facing clock and anti-clockwise. That's that way, that way, that way. They are, we're terming them as in external angles, and we will see something very interesting about all of these external angles. What I want you to do is look at the sum of all these external angles. That's A plus B plus C plus D plus E. So that would be 85 plus 88 plus 41 plus, what's that, 78 plus 68 degrees. What does that equal? Well, let's do it. 85 plus 88 plus 41 plus 78 plus 68. Have I done that right? Yes. Okay. What does that equal? That equals 360 degrees. So what we're saying right now is a sum of all of these external angles around this polygon is 360 degrees. That's very interesting, isn't it? We're going to try another polygon, this time a quadrilateral. Okay guys, here we go again. This time we've got an irregular polygon, which is a quadrilateral, four-sided. Again, if we want the angles A, B, C and D, we note that, let's take C for example, that both the angles C and this internal angle is on a straight line, so their sum equals 180. Take away the internal angle from 180, it will give us C. We're going to do that for all of these different angles. So our first angle is 109. So if we do 180 minus 109, we get, oops, sorry, that's completely wrong. 180 minus 109, that gives us the first angle. A is 71 degrees. B will be 180 minus 94, because 94 is the degrees that range is the angle that's adjacent to it, and that turns out to be 86. And then the angle adjacent to C is 73 degrees, so 180 minus 73 will give us the angle C, that's 107. And finally, the angle adjacent to D is 84 degrees, so if we do 180 minus 84, that gives us 96 degrees. So there we have it. We have A equals 71, B equals 86, C equals 107, and D equals 96. Again, we're going to do the same thing that we did with the irregular pentagon. We're going to add all these angles, A, B, C and D. All of them are facing anti-clockwise this time. That is very relevant to what we're doing. Remember I said at the beginning, clockwise or anti-clockwise, as long as the angles are all facing the same way, then we get an interesting conclusion. So let's add A, B and C and D. So 71, B is 86, C is 107, and D is 96. Well, what do you know? That also equals 360 degrees. Now that's interesting, isn't it? All of the external angles of the irregular pentagon were 360 degrees, and now all of the external angles of the quadrilateral, well, that's 360 degrees. This leads us to an interesting conclusion, and the conclusion is that all of the external angles, if they're facing the same way, of any polygon will add up to 360 degrees. You know how to find the external angles, that's the easy bit. Now how comes all of these angles add up to 360 degrees? 360 degrees. Well, in the next video, I'm going to show you an easy way of understanding this.